and we're back for another episode, and I'm excited to bring Romy, and she's going to let us know about her fitness journey and her exciting stuff she's got coming up, what she's actually been doing lately in the fitness journey, and what got you actually first started, when the first time you actually decided to pick up the weight, and what started that spark in you to think, okay, I'm going to start this journey of training.
Hi everyone. The way I started with my fitness journey, I was always someone that just went to the gym, had no idea what she was doing, was in a roller coaster of all the things that you can take for weight loss. I took. And I always thought that if you did cardio, the more cardio you did, the more toned you would be. So yeah, I was making all those mistakes. And then I fell pregnant 15 years ago. My son is 15 now. But and then just my weight just spiraled, got to when I had my son, I got to 92 kilos. And then when I had him, I lost about, I had put on 30 in my pregnancy and I only lost about 15. And I just struggled getting that weight off. And as I said, I was just going to the gym thinking that, everything I was doing was going to make me lose weight. And then one day I saw a friend of mine that was in her 40s, and she was going to do her first bodybuilding competition. And I was like, but you've never been to the gym. How are you going to do that? And yeah, well, she stepped on stage, and then I thought, oh, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And I engaged a coach. Firstly, it was just to lose the weight and to fall in love again with myself, because I hated myself. And then slowly but surely, after being with this coach for about 18 months, I stepped on stage in May, end of April 2023. I stepped on the ICN ACT stage. And I got, because I was when I stepped on stage, I was 48 years old. That was a huge, huge thing for me, because I've never been in a bikini in front of so many people.
It'd be nerve-wracking. I get you.
It was nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I won. I entered the divisions of over 30s, bikini over 30s. I came out of 8 girls, I came 5th. And then there was a category called Bikini Mama. So it meant that, if you had a baby. And I came first there.
Congrats.
Thank you.
You're right.
And and then then I thought that was just a bucket list thing that I was going to do. But after I got off stage, I was like, no, I love this. I got hooked. I got hooked. But then what happened is my coach at the time, I was seeing her twice a week to face-to-face PT, but then she decided that she wasn't going to do face-to-face anymore. And I am the type of person that just once in a while I need that face-to-face.
Yeah, just for your mental state. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got some clients
So
like that. They know what to do. They know exactly what to do. They just need that either once a month or once a week, or, they just need that, if you get what I mean. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so that was me. So I said to her, I said, okay, well, you're going to go online. I need someone that's going to be able to do face to face. So I changed coach, And yeah, and I've been with him now since 2023, since June 2023. Um,
2 years
and
nearly.
yeah, 2 years nearly with him. And yeah, so and he changed the way we trained and nutrition, so and made me grow quite a bit. And then he said to me, he said, "Oh, would you consider going, from ICN to NABBA?"
Mm.
And so I did another show last year, ICN, which was fantastic. Um, I placed, I didn't place very well, but who cares? I
Yeah,
love getting on
that's
stage.
it.
Yeah, because for me, it is me versus me. Of course, everyone loves winning.
Yeah.
That's nature, you
It's
know?
it's 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 the goal to set for, shoot for the moon and
Yeah,
get halfway, and we're good. We got there.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But so yeah, but I just love the whole process. I mean, for me, it's a lifestyle.
mm,
Since I started, it's a lifestyle. So it's not like, okay, now I'm in prep, now I'm off season. For me, being in prep means it's just a little bit more work and a little bit less food.
yeah,
Nothing changes.
yeah. So it
So
stays the
yeah,
same for you. Yeah.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I usually use it a little bit different. I like to eat too much food, so I like my off season more than the on season. That's the hardest part for me. Being
It does
honest.
get hard.
It's the hardest part for me. Like too much food. But yeah,
Yeah.
so when you did that transition, was that like easy to transition from the one show to the other? Did you find one ran more efficient than the other one, or did you sort of like, how things are structured, or does it feel different between both of them, or they're similar feeling, just so you got a general idea of what it was like on both different times you competed so far with both different types of federation, just for an idea?
So to be perfectly honest, I feel at home at NABBA. So I've done like my last two shows were on the 4th of May and 10th of May this year,
Yep.
just this. And when I stepped on stage in New South Wales the first time for NABBA, I just felt right at home. The
Nice.
way the way they conduct themselves, the way they treat their athletes, they just make you feel like you with family.
Yeah.
You're not a number.
Yeah.
That's what
It's
I just felt. Look, I'm not saying anything about ICN. I just
yeah, yeah, of
felt I
course.
didn't feel like it was my place.
It felt like they're just pushing you in, pushing you out quickly. Find the best, then move on. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah,
So this stage presence wasn't as much. So obviously then there's more stage presence with NABBA and that. So they give you more time on the stage. Like another way to put it. Is that what usually you found? Because I've heard that's usually what happens a lot.
yeah. So that
Yeah.
was that was the other thing, that you get more stage uh, time, and it's run
Mm.
totally different in the sense that you have your time, the judges have time to look at you. um I, within 3 days of the first show, I got my feedback.
It's quick.
Yeah, that's quick. um Fair enough, it was because we were going to nationals, but
Mm,
nevertheless, they gave
mm,
me within 3 days the feedback.
mm.
And they were very, like, very quick and very uh yeah, like, very nice. They said, okay, so short term this, and then long term this. So they actually do pay attention to
So
you.
they broke it down into two different goals, and so you sort of know what you can fix
Yeah,
straight away and what you're going to need that off season to try to work on. So you got a
exactly.
goal for
That's what
next
they.
year straight away. So you're already shooting for the next goal.
I am
Yeah,
already.
yeah,
My
yeah.
coach has already. My coach has already put the plan together, and he
Nice.
gave me a little taste yesterday of the program. It's not going to be easy.
Nothing worth doing is. If you
Yeah,
get
I
what I
know.
mean. If it was easy, everyone would do it. So you're already one of the minority, if you get
Yeah,
me.
exactly. That is true.
Yeah, good work. So when you usually train, so we got a general idea of what you usually train. So how's your training structure like at the moment? What would you usually do?
So at the moment, I train 5 days a week.
Yep.
So 3 of those days are lower and two are upper. So,
Okay.
shoulders, back, and yeah. So because um, like every woman, we just need to always focus on our
On the legs?
lower legs and
The legs?
bottom
Yeah.
and
Yeah, the
and
legs.
glutes and
The
yes.
legs. That's all right. I was just curious. So when you do so it's like similar to a push pull, or is it more like an upper is just all upper? So you put back and chest together, so the auxiliary muscles overlap. All I mean is like the tricep and bicep type of thing will overlap if you do it that way, or if you do a push pull, you'll do all your
It's push
pushing.
pull.
Oh yeah, so all your pushing movements
Yeah.
in one go, all
Yeah.
your pulling movements the other, and then you just add lower for their own day. Perfect, got it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. There's no
Yeah.
overlap.
Yeah.
No overlap
No.
involved.
No, no overlap.
How's the cardio?
And the cardio, that was the other thing. So each prep for each show, my prep was totally different and cardio was totally different. Last year, we started prep at 16 weeks prior, and I was doing an hour and 20 minutes a day of cardio. And now, because we want to go in a little bit fuller, we cut the cardio to 10 minutes a day.
No, that's not as much, not many steps. Nice and quick and easy. Like I said, you could be you're going for a different goal. That's the way it is. I found like just for me in general, because like I says, I don't usually work with competitive athletes. I usually work with only everyday Joe. I usually find that more better and easier for my mind, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But like as an example, if I do cardio any more than half an hour, they start to diminish slightly the leg size. So when I start to push it up to 2 hours and above, it starts eating at the legs a bit, if you get what I mean.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'll get leaner,
Yeah.
but the leg size will go down. I've just noticed that it
Yeah.
will do that. So, if I can get away with less cardio and maybe more posing or something like that, we'll go on to the next one. So, how you go with your posing practice?
Well, you see, that posing has always been my least favorite
Amazing.
because, yeah, I tried to fall in love with it, but
Mm,
it's just something that it's just ticking the box and I just have to keep on practicing.
mm,
Like I've come a long way, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
mm.
And I always tell my posing coach, she said, you just don't like this, do you? And I'm like, no, I don't, because it hurts.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good sometimes, but once you start flexing and getting them positions more and more, it gets easier. Like I said, so that's what I will use my posing as cardio session technically, and I break it up if you get what I mean. You just do it
Yeah,
more and
yeah.
more and more because after a hard posing session, you'll be sweating. If you're not sweating, you're not doing it properly.
Oh no, no, I
Yeah,
do sweat,
yeah,
and that's
yeah,
that's the funny part because this morning I actually had a posing session, and I'm in the outskirts of Canberra, so it's pretty cold here.
yeah. It would be.
And when I got there, I said, "Oh, Christina, I am freezing." She said, "Don't worry, you'll warm up in a minute."
I'm sort of similar. I'm sort of out near Orange, out through the mountains that way, so it's cold where I am too. So I'm up higher. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
but
it
yeah,
does get cold then.
yeah. But it's right. What I notice is the vein definition goes away as you pose, and takes a bit more for it to come out because you're colder.
Oh yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
But that's cool. So when you practice, how long are you usually practicing for on your own time at the moment? Then leading in because you obviously said, well, I don't know if you said everyone, but you are getting ready for Worlds coming up, so that's going to
Yes,
be like a lot more. You have be digging in. What, you're only 2 weeks away now, aren't you?
yeah, 2 weeks away,
Yeah,
so the
so
8th of June.
so not long.
Yeah,
But that's be exciting too. So how long do you
I know.
how long do you practice for at the moment then?
So posing, I try to do at least 20 minutes a day.
Yeah, that's good.
It's
Yeah.
just the days, like, because I've got, a corporate job as well.
Mm.
So the days I go into the office, I do 20 days, 20 minutes, not 20 days, 20 minutes.
Mm.
But the days that I work from home, then I try to extend it to about 45 minutes, and just to
Yep.
get that, the body used to holding positions. And because when you're on stage, and I'm very prone to get
Graham?
cramps on
Yeah.
my calves.
Oh no.
So and it did happen to me when I was posing. Yeah, when it was in New South Wales. Yeah, when I was in New South Wales, I was on stage and I
Stings.
got a cramp. I got a cramp on
It stings.
stage.
It feels like it rips it slightly. You're like, go away.
I know, but
Yeah.
then you're standing on stage and you just have to smile and just think, it's not hurting, it's not
Yeah,
hurting.
there's one, yeah. Yeah, the good stage presence. Yeah, no, that's a decent amount of time. But like I said, that's going to help you in the long run, especially if they pose you down, you know what I mean? And they comparison between a few, because that's what another thing I noticed. I noticed they'll take a lot longer posing through your poses. So you're going to have to hold them a lot longer, if you get what I mean. And
Exactly.
it's where, like I see a lot of other federations, they'll just pump you in, pump you out, you're done. Unless you're very, very close, then they're a little bit longer, but still not as long as they run you through because they get a good comparison of you, if you get what I mean. So
Yeah,
you're
I
gonna need
know.
that. You're gonna need that, or your sweat and the tan will come off. And oh,
I know that's the
yeah,
worst part, when you start sweating on stage and you're thinking, oh, please, tan, stay there, don't
run.
dribble.
You just pat it down. She'll be right.
I
She'll be
know.
right. Yeah, it's probably all difficult things, but yeah. So, what was the
Yeah.
experience like backstage for you then? So every viewers get a general idea of what's that like moving into the show, so they'll know what they're in for if they decide they would like to compete at a later date.
So backstage, it is, look, both federations are beautiful. The people, like the girls, all support each other. Before you go on stage, they all, are cheering for you, even though you're competing against them. And NABBA especially, it was beautiful because we were all waiting backstage to get onto the stage, and we were all, we've got this, good luck, and let's have fun out there. And so even though you are competitors, you still, can cheer for each other.
Yeah,
So
100%.
it's beautiful. Actually, when we were in Queensland, it was even nicer because there were a lot of girls that were there alone because they were from New South Wales,
Mm.
and the family, I mean, going to the Gold Coast, it's quite
Yeah,
expensive.
not as cheap. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Um, so we were all together, we went out for hamburgers after the show together, and it's beautiful. And you make friends with people that are like-minded.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, that's what I found, that I've made friends through the sport, um, because that's another thing. I mean, I love this sport, but there's a lot of people that don't understand what goes into it.
it's a lot.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so you can lose friends that don't
yeah.
understand, sometimes that you in prep
You,
and that you can't go out, or if you go out, you take your
it's
Tupperware.
it's hard with family members when they invite you to events and then they sort of get moody at you because they don't understand what you're doing and understand what it takes. That one meal I have with them could set me back a week or 2 weeks, and I've got to start again
Exactly.
if I go and do
Yeah.
that, unless it's scheduled in and it's a high day. Depending on what structure you got, you might have a flat nutrition, so you can't do that then. If it's perfectly
Yeah.
clean and counted. So it's difficult, but they don't understand what actually goes into it because technically, at the end of the day, it's majority this food. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
if you don't get your
Yeah.
food right, that's you're not. It's not going to work. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you can do as much
yeah,
cardio, as
mm,
much weights, but what goes in here
yeah.
is the most important.
You can't unrun a bad diet.
Yeah,
If you
that
get what I mean.
exactly.
But that's just the hardest part of it. But yeah, so that's awesome. So if you are you going to go early to the finals? You planning to leave a little bit? Sorry, the worlds. Are you planning to go a bit earlier to get your basis, or are you just going to go just closer to the show, or are you planning so you're going to train somewhere else before you go, or are you just going to?
No, I'm just because I took some time off before the other two shows from work.
Mm,
I can't take that much time now, so I'm
yeah,
just going to go up on the Saturday.
yep.
The show is on the Sunday, and then come back, yeah,
Right,
Sunday
cool.
after the show.
Cool.
Yeah, I just can't, don't have much more leave.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, because I think like being in Canberra, it's not too far from. It should be about 3.5 hours or something like
Yeah,
that.
so
Dependent. Yeah, yeah, it's not too bad. Where Queensland was that? That'd be like 11 to 12 hours. That's a long way.
yeah, no, but when I went to Gold Coast, I said, look, I'm gonna go by plane. I'm not gonna,
100%.
drive.
It's a
Yeah,
long
no.
drive. When I was looking at that and I was thinking, oh, that's too long. I don't want to go that far.
Yeah. No, because the other option was to, like cut it in two
Mm,
the trip, like, stay overnight somewhere in the middle, but then you still I was just too worried about the stress. If I got stressed, if I was gonna hold fluid and,
yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Did you
so
hold fluid because of the flight, or were you good with flying? Because usually it's one or the other, depending on the person. Sometimes you can wear tights for the legs, because usually you'll hold the fluid in the legs if you get it from flying. Yeah,
no, because it was only, I think it's an hour and 45 minutes. I didn't hold any fluid.
good. Yeah,
But what I did was I did get there and I went for a long walk.
yeah, it's a this burn.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
yeah,
bit more
just
up.
to get the circulation going and make sure that, that I was in action.
Yeah.
To, yeah.
Yeah. So with this done, once you got this goal done, because it's coming up, what's your next goal now? Because you already mentioned that you got that. Are you planning on competing again next season, or you're just going to wait for a bit? You're going to have a bit of an off season, see what you want to do, and then transition in, or just play it by ear for now.
So what we're gonna do, so we've got two options or three options. Normally what we do is we finish our season, and then we like start training just the off season, and then by Christmas we decide, okay, we're gonna do season A, we're gonna do season B, or we're going to hold it for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Um, Also, I've got a family in Argentina,
Hmm.
so there was an idea to maybe do season A next year in Argentina, go and compete in NABBA Argentina.
All right. I didn't know they had
But
to have a show there. Sorry to interrupt you.
yes,
Yep.
yes,
But as
yes,
you
they
said,
do. But we'll see. We'll see. The idea is just to keep on training and then by Christmas decide what we're gonna do.
nice.
If we're gonna do season A, season B, or maybe next year.
Yeah.
It's just my coach doesn't like to keep it too long because he likes to have me focused, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, because
Yeah.
if you need a certain amount of time in the surplus to bring up areas, it's hard to try to work on bringing up an area. I can say from an example because I've been dieting now all the way since March last year. So like it's a long time if you get what I mean. So I've
Yeah,
come.
that's a long time.
Yeah, so and during that time I tried to maintain the legs. I've done the best that I could, but they're shrinking and I don't like it. But it is what it is, suppose, Still got a bit more to go on that cut, but it's okay. So, you know, and the only way to get them back is to have that extended off season. But it's not time to have that extended off season yet, if you get what I mean. So you just got to push through.
Yeah,
Dig deep,
yeah.
dig deep. Ignore how small they're getting. The little man syndrome's hard and it's going I'm shrinking, I'm shrinking. Let's ignore it. It's not there.
No,
Yeah,
it can
yeah.
be actually really bad. I had this was like beginning of last week.
Mm.
I got a little bit of a gastro.
Oh no.
And all I was thinking was like, oh my God, I don't need to lose any more weight.
Mm,
I don't need to, and the thing wasn't, we were not worried about the weight, we were worried about muscle.
yeah, yeah.
So I am a little bit depleted at the moment, but we're just going to work around it.
So it was hard to get, the biggest point was getting the amount of protein in. Were you able to get it in or just couldn't because it was just gone? Yeah.
It was just what went in,
Yeah,
went out,
gone.
if you
Yeah,
know
that's
what
why.
I
Yeah, that's
mean.
no good. But so that's like that's difficult because our bodies. That's the only thing our body can't produce. It's got to pull it from the muscle tissue, so it had to get it from somewhere for that small
Yeah.
time. But you could majority reverse that, if you've added it back in straight away and it wasn't too long. If you get what I mean. So because
Oh, it wasn't like it
yeah,
was only Monday and Tuesday last
yeah,
week, so it
yeah,
was luckily it was
yeah,
only 2 days,
should be
and
okay. Yeah.
By Wednesday I was eating normally.
Yeah,
So
nice. Did you
yeah.
find that to have a fluctuation on the scale a great deal? Or did your presence look better? Did you look better in the mirror afterwards?
I did actually look very, very dry, if
That's
that
what I mean. I
makes
just say
sense.
dried you out. Yeah, that's why I was curious. That's what you probably
I
look
was
better.
like,
Look better in the mirror. You're like, oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I was like, oh,
nice.
I like this. And then my coach looked at me and he's like, yeah, no, I don't. I
we,
don't
we
like this because you've lost.
you probably bump your food up a little bit then, just a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
got back
what
to it.
what he's
Yeah,
trying to do this week, he's just bumped up my calories for this week and see how we go.
nice, nice, perfect. When you're when you like, if we get it more in depth, we may as well ask you a more in depth question. When you're getting closer, because everyone's different, what was like your depletion stage? Like, did you have a depletion stage, or did you just eat going into the show? What was your food like then? Did it change much, or you just kept on the same type of food like the day before the show, or was it a couple of days before
Um,
the show you carb loaded, or you back loaded, or front loaded the carbs?
so the last year, um, 2 days, I think it was towards the beginning of the peak week, the week before. We did we upped the carbs,
Nice.
and then went back to the normal food, the 3 days before the show.
Okay.
This year,
Front loaded.
this year, yes, this year we just kept on, like every day was different. Like my coach would look at the photos and say, okay, have another 250 grams of rice,
Yeah.
or so it was different. It was every day he made a decision. So
Yeah.
it wasn't a script,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it wasn't.
It's sort of. It sounds like both methods were sort of front loading, if you get what I mean.
Yeah,
Instead of saving it all them calories for the one day and trying to jam it in, and then the water molecule doesn't get into the glucose and it doesn't actually fill it properly, and you're trying to fix everything in one day instead of
yeah.
spending a bit of time getting it right first and just holding it into it. Where less changes you do, the better you're going to look then.
Yeah, but that's why, because when I stepped on stage the first ever time, that's the mistake that they did with me. They did load me the day before, and I did hold a lot of fluid.
Yeah, the couple of days usually works better, if you know what I mean. Two
Yeah,
or one, depending on the person. Though, some people get away with that, but usually, if they hold a lot of muscle tissue, it depends on lots of things, genetic factors, and where you're sitting, what your actual body's like. You know what I mean? How you absorb
yeah,
carbohydrates, how much you absorb, what food you were eating. Too much in it, if you get what I mean.
yeah. But
Just dispense. Yeah,
to the credit of my other coach, it was the first time we were working together, so we were knowing each other, and she was just trying to, assess my body and what my body would do, because
yeah,
each body is totally different.
yeah. Yeah, that's slightly a little bit. It depends, but the good thing that you can do there is if you play with it a little bit beforehand, if you got time, if you're in shape. That's the hard thing though, because usually like sometimes you're playing catch up and you don't get that time. If you get what I mean, unless you're way in shape in front, then you would have had the extra leeway to go. Okay, let's test this. Let's test this. Then we know that works. if you get what I mean.
Yeah,
It's a difference between
yeah,
having someone that goes, oh, okay, let's know exactly how your body works to this. Let's feed it this, let's feed it that. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But each prep will be always different too. Like your first one, you probably find you get away with more carbs now than you did before. Am I correct or am I wrong?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, they were
yeah,
all three preps were totally different.
yeah.
But having said that, like the second and third, like this third one, this one was I was cruising through it because
Easier.
yes, much easier because you know what you're in for, and
Hmm.
so you know what to do and what not to do.
Yeah, 100%. Anyway, so yeah, back to. Have you got anything else you would like to add?
No, just if anyone is thinking about, doing it as a bucket list or even getting into bodybuilding, do it because it's never too late to start. Never.
100%. Links will be
Yeah.
down below for Instagram. Have you got any other social medias or anything else you would like me to share in here? Any other links, or you just want
No, it's just my Instagram.
right? I'll
Yeah.
add the Instagram link in here and up here at the beginning. And hooray and goodbye to everyone. And it was awesome having you on.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.